So welcome to this fireside chat with Ayan Kishore from Benetech. Many people in this conference and in this online room will be familiar with Benetech and the great job that they are doing for students with disabilities. But maybe Ayan, in your words, where's Benetech coming from? Where are you, and what's next?
Thank you, Michael. Glad to be here. Benetech's about a quarter century old organization. We're a global nonprofit that's been focused on making learning more inclusive for students with disabilities. And we've been doing this in the US and India and all over the world. And I want to tell you a little bit more about this program that we started in India about 3 years ago. We've been in India for a decade and a half, but this special program is focused on building the capacity of schools to become, provide digital education. And I'm really inspired with that, and we're preparing for the next phase, so I want to talk about that.
Okay. Before we go into more details, please explain also the Benetech model. It's mainly about digitizing and digitalizing content and learning materials, but I think it's a lot more than that, no?
Yeah, so different programs are different. The program that we're most popular for and known for is Bookshare, which is the world's largest collection of digital accessible materials. We have over 1.2 million books in over 70 languages, available all across the world, and in most low and middle income countries, it's completely free. So, for someone who's, for people, they can consume the content in different ways. So you can hear it via audio, you can consume the content via Braille. There's all sorts of ways you can do that, and lives have been changed because of the course of our time in which students have been able to access learning because of that. So that's our core work, but then we surround that with all sorts of programming, from helping the publishing industry transform, from helping actually get to schools and helping build their capacity to do education with digital content and with digital materials. So we have a holistic program that's focused on literacy, numeracy, all the way from early grades on to lifelong learning.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, but maybe you give us a little more numbers so that we can get a feeling for the size and the development of Benetech and Bookshare.
Thank you. Like I mentioned, so Bookshare works with over 1,000 publishers. We have served over 1.5 million learners around the world. And just as of last month, we've had 29 million downloads of books. So, just to talk about the scale, we're talking about millions of learners around the world who are using Bookshare to actually access content just like their able peers are able to.
Mm-hmm. Okay, then let's move on now to your India strategy. Give us a little more detail on why India, what exactly you're up to, and where you currently are.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I'll tell you a story maybe. About a year ago, I was visiting schools for the blind in India, and we've been doing the work over there. And in one of the schools, this girl came up to me, and she was blind, and she started quizzing me on math questions. And my daughters do that to me. I'm pretty good at math. I'm a computer engineer and computer scientist, but she was tremendous. And so then the principal called me to the side and was like, Ayan, I need your help. I am scared about what I can do to actually enable her to be successful after she graduates. And there are lots of students like her. And this school for the blind is in a large metropolitan area and is doing amazing work. They were trying to build life skills for these students and did a good job of getting them to learn Braille. But the truth is that they were preparing them with skills such as farming, which is great because for many of them they go back into their to their rural homes and can have some form of support and sustenance. But for girls like the one I'm talking about who dream to be an engineer, to be a scientist, to be an accountant, there is no path for them because society and the workplace is not prepared to provide the accommodations they need. There's no scribes in the workplace for her or others to go, and as a result, there's a significant unemployment for blind students and blind people all over the world. But so what we wanted to do is to prepare these students by introducing them to digital technology, to computers, and figuring out how they can use those independently so that they are prepared for a career that they can work in independently. So that was the motivation. This program we did in 20 blind schools, and I'll tell you a little bit about them. There were three components of this. I call it the 3 Cs. The first part of this is computers or assistive technology devices, right? You need, and it doesn't need to be expensive. An Android phone with a Bluetooth keyboard is all you need for the most part to really, provide the technology that can change the lives. The second thing is accessible content. We spoke about Bookshare. We took all the national curriculum in India, in the state curriculums in most of the states in many languages, and made them accessible and available in Bookshare. So now you can, as a student, go and hear all your textbooks that you'd be learning and other things. And then the third part, which is extremely important and probably the most difficult to do, is capacity building, the third C. This is about mentoring teachers and educators and administrators to not just have like a computer in a separate classroom that's like a computer class. This is about integrating these devices and these tools into learning across everything they're doing. And I think that's what's been really amazing. We have seen first, the first thing what happened was they started reading with the computers, right? Second thing, they started doing their homework and assignments using computers. And last year we hit a major milestone. 10 of these students did state exams for their high school, the grade 10 exams, on their own, without a scribe. First time in the history. And they were independently able to write these exams. And 2 students have actually gone on and actually taken on jobs in the private sector. So this is really, really transformational, and I'm really excited about what the next step is for this.
Yeah. I completely agree, capacity building will be key. Every technology is at some point related to building the capacity to integrate it so that it's used, improved, maintained, trained, expanded. So what strategy are you using in India to scale this, to train, to find your partners?
Yeah. So first of all, we've been lucky to work with amazing schools who are, themselves becoming change makers in their communities. So they have really bought into, we're talking about people who realize, this is India we're talking about. They realize that technology can be a major force in transforming. But, trying to get the buy-in. We do this, we have a team of people in India, most of them are blind. So being able for them to go into schools and be like, look how we got to what we are and look what we can do.
So this is Benetech. As Benetech, are you working with partners there?
We do, yeah. So apart from our own team over there, we have partners such as Enable India, we have M Junction, and then all sorts of other entities. We have corporate partners that donate devices, and we need a lot of that as we're talking about scaling. But we work with we obviously work with all these local organizations who are helping complement the program. And then this is a community that we've built of avant-garde schools that are actually leading the way and helping their states change policies so that students can get an access to inclusive education.
And looking at the overall Benetech strategy, how important is India now? Is this all your new capacity targeted towards India, or is it just one of several threads and
No,
strategies?
thank you. Yeah, so as you all know, we're a US-based organization, and a lot of our work is domestic, but we also do a lot of work around the globe. We have staff in India, Kenya, and the Philippines. But India is our largest program outside the US, and given the progress we've had in India, we definitely are in stage of sort of scaling the work in India. But we're the same work that we're doing in India, we've had countries in Africa come and approach us and talk about how they can bring a similar model there. And we are working with local partners in different countries to do that. So we're in about, I think, 30 plus countries right now, and honestly, we're happy to look for partners. We want to bring this country, we're happy to help share what we have learned and help you do it in other places too.
Just trying to little understand this scaling strategy of yours.
Yeah.
If you have working in India, and that has a lot already done, the material is there, the technology is there, the capacity building programs are there. How difficult is it, how much has to be done to scale this to a related country that has a similar language and maybe a similar system? Is you have to start again from scratch, or how much % of what you built can be used in the next country?
Yeah, so first of all, by no means is the work done, right? I think we're beginning to prove the model. India is a big country. I tell people that India is like 28 countries in one. So, there's a lot of work to do even within India. And, talking about the numbers and, devices and all, this is a massive, massive scale work to be done. And, I think we're helping push the needle to do that. The model is pretty movable from one context to the other. You do have to, contextualize it, but a lot of the folks that we've spoken to, because these are just basic components of a program that work well. A lot of the materials that have been built to help train and build the capacity, and those learnings can be moved from one context to the other. But there's a lot of contextualization that does have to happen.
Okay. And how do you make your decisions when and how to move to the next country? Is this based on available funding or available good partners or available frameworks?
Yeah, no, absolutely. So there's a whole bunch of factors. I think first of all would need, we're looking for some level of an enabling environment, right? Whether it be, is there willingness from the government to really support students and learners with disabilities? Is there partners who are willing to, help contribute devices? Are we able to find, groups who can help build the capacity of others? So I think if we meet a bunch of those, we enter a country, and that's generally been our strategy. We have prioritized focusing on low and middle income countries, so that is definitely something, we want to make sure that our time here is put to the best use possible. So, but no, I think if those are some of the enabling conditions we look for, and obviously any work needs funding. So.
Let me close with one question with regards to the prime topic of these days, artificial intelligence. I'm sure you will agree that it will augment your work and support you and make it easier and accessible, but isn't it also a disruptive technology for making it easier for others that are not as developed as you to enter this market? Or how do you work with artificial intelligence right now, and how is it influencing your strategy?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. I mean, we're definitely at a moment where artificial intelligence can be transformational for, if responsibly used for students with disabilities. We have been using it for many years, and maybe it's a good way to close out on the story I mentioned of this girl, right? After this girl graduates from this school, she's going to be going, and I'm confident she's going to be going to an inclusive college in India, right? And if she wants to study a STEM subject, the challenge is that the content is highly inaccessible. You open a math book, you open a science book, diagrams and equations, right? And it is very expensive to remediate that content, make that accessible. That's the problem we are solving with AI right now. We built an AI infrastructure that can take any equation and put it into a format that you can actually navigate and with your, by hearing. I think that is transformational on what it can do for STEM learning. And we talk about, the careers, these students, it's STEM careers are the careers of the future. It's, to really have equity, we want to make sure that students with disabilities have the same opportunity. So that's just one example. But, I feel strongly that there's a lot of opportunities with AI that I think is particularly relevant for those with disabilities.
Yeah, so let us finish with one remark to what you just said. I completely agree. Also looking at this year's awardees of the Zero Project, there's specifically one on STEM from India, but on sign language. So they tried to standardize also sign language. Just following up your point that this is a transforming period. So it's I think many things are happening in these years now, and it hopefully also includes people with disabilities in everything that's related to inclusive education, but especially also to STEM education. Ayan Kishore, thank you for having this conversation.
Michael.
Thank you for being with us here today.
Yeah, thank you.